You are not just being nice and agreeable, you're hiding your core beliefs and your most authentic self. You are stepping all over what you believe in, and you're making yourself feel awful in the process. If you're not yourself, then who are you? Because yourself is made out of you with these beliefs, these morals that you have, your core values. And if you're not being true to them, then what are you being true to? Because it's not yourself. It's just accommodating for other people. Saying yes to things you don't want to say yes to. Agreeing with things you don't agree with. Because they go against everything you stand for. Don't worry, you've come to the right place. Let's talk about it. I think everyone at some point in their lives has been very inauthentic to themselves. Doing that for a long time can actually shatter your confidence, your sense of self-worth, and your sense of who you are. What is your best self? I know it sounds very like woo-woo-y, very not tangible. Your best self is just the person you would be if you would consistently act in accordance with your core beliefs and morals. It is someone who is confident in who they are and what they stand for, and they don't change their opinions based on the opinions around them. It is someone who truly embraces who they are and expresses that in a very authentic form. What happens a lot of the times when growing up, like for me, the time it happened the most was high school. I bet for a lot of people, it was either like high school or, college and university. Like teenage years and early 20s are really the time where this happens, where we tend to conform to the opinions of everyone around us for the sake of fitting in and being accepted. When you conform to other opinions and behaviors, you actually negate your authentic self and you're just putting on like a false show. You're showing a false self. And that can come with negative feelings. They may not be noticeable right away, but after months and years of putting on a false front, they're gonna become noticeable because you are not acting in alignment with what you truly believe in and who you truly are. And you know that how you're acting contradicts your core beliefs, and that is where negative feelings such as guilt or shame arise. You might be doing things in order to fit into a group or be accepted by other people, and that doesn't feel great because you're afraid that if you would show those people your authentic self, your true opinions, they might not want to be friends with you anymore, or they might not want you to be part of their group anymore. And that is a quite scary situation because no one likes feeling abandoned or unwanted. And it's a very tricky situation when it makes you feel bad to not be authentic to yourself, but you feel the need to not be authentic to yourself. But it also makes you feel bad to be authentic to yourself because you think then you're gonna be an outsider. You get to a situation where you think you have no choice. It's not a situation you want to be in, and also not a situation you should be in for a long time, because those negative feelings accumulated can really shatter your self-confidence, make you feel bad about yourself on a daily basis. Who wants that? So I think we agree that not being authentic is not gonna feel great. Being authentic and being your true self is gonna create a higher level of happiness and of well-being because you're now able to set boundaries and as a result have better relationships overall. Doesn't mean if it's friends or partners or family. When you feel like you don't have to give up a part of you in order to belong, but you can belong by being your whole self, showing all of you, then that doesn't create those negative feelings anymore. Setting boundaries is so important for so many reasons and something everyone should master at some point, sooner rather than later. Just looking at boundaries and authenticity together, you kind of realize that they go hand in hand. When you set boundaries, you are less likely to have people around you or be in situations where you feel the need to be your false self, put on a false persona of sorts. That is gonna make you feel more authentic, is gonna help your confidence. When you don't set boundaries, you're gonna be around people and be in situations where, again, you are your false self, you're not acting in accordance to your beliefs. All of the people who would be eliminated out of your life by setting boundaries are the people that don't make you feel great. And the question is, why don't they make you feel great? Why would it be better if they would go, or the situations that they put you in would not exist anymore. And the answer could be that you feel like you have to be a false self around them. You have to say things you don't actually mean. You have to hide your beliefs, the things that you love, and your morals around them. From personal experience, I can say that setting boundaries can make the biggest difference in your life. Cutting people off is not an easy thing to do, but it is so important if you want to grow and develop as yourself, as your authentic self. Sometimes you really need to burn the bridge and move on, because why would you want to be around people who don't make you feel great? If it's a situation where you just cannot, burn the bridge and never see them again, try to set as many boundaries as you can. Try to see them as little as possible. Like, have little contact with them. Try to avoid being in situations where you have to fake your true self as much as possible, because again, for the 10th time, they don't make you feel good. They make you feel like you're lying to yourself, and it adds up. You don't feel it after one day of doing it, but you feel it after a whole year of doing that every single day. High school is really the perfect example for this. After you leave high school, everyone goes their own path. And I think that was really the moment where people started to develop as themselves, and not just as a group who belonged to the same high school, who kind of had, the same trends going around, the same opinions going around. Like, you didn't want to stand out too much. And now, when you're not around a huge group of people who has kind of like agreed on the same opinions and morals and core beliefs, people start to develop their own selves. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Now, you might develop differently from your high school friends. That is perfectly normal. If you feel like the differences are too big and you feel like, you're holding each other back, or, every time you talk to them, it's like you're clashing in some way because, again, your core beliefs are different, it's time to let them go. How do you find your true self? How do you know what is authentic to you? That is a very good question. We find out what aligns with ourselves. Oh, you can see the vacuum in the background. That's cute. Let me go like this. We find out what our true self is by having experiences in life and seeing if we like that or not. Like, trying out things, trying out hobbies. Try out a thing for a day or an hour, and then you kind of know if you like that or not. If you get to experience things, you will know if, you're into music or into outdoor adventures or art or drama or just hanging out with people. If you don't have those experiences, how are you gonna know if you like them or not? If you refuse to do something because it's not a cool thing to do and all of your friends are not doing it, then you cannot know that you don't like it. We also need to be aware of the fact that our core beliefs might actually be different than the core beliefs of the people we grow up around. We're getting into a bit of a tricky situation here, because those people are usually family and really, really close friends. I think it's good and healthy to question the beliefs that have been ingrained in you since childhood. These can be very different things, from like trivial things like how to dress or do certain colors match, up until like, religion, important stuff that can lead to conflict. But it is so important to question the beliefs that we've grown up with, because otherwise we cannot find our most authentic self. You need to really look at things that you've learned since a young age and see, are they really good? Are they not? Get informed about stuff. Take a second look and then make your own decision. A very trivial example. Let's say you grew up in a family that says that black and dark blue doesn't match, you should never wear it. Now, as an adult, as a fully developed human being, you should at least consider the possibility that black and dark blue might match. So try on some clothes, see what your opinion of that is right now. You might come to the conclusion that it does match, and that goes against what you have learned since childhood. You might decide that, in fact, it does not match and never wear it again and be happy. It's really important to just go through that process on yourself and figure out things on yourself. Okay, we have to talk about it. No one likes to think that they're a people pleaser or likes to be told that they're a people pleaser, but so many people are. So let's talk about it. Let's dissect. So many people are people pleasers. That is a mouthful. People people-pleasing people. So ask yourself the question, am I conforming to what everyone wants of me? Or am I actually doing things and saying things out of my own beliefs? People do so many things in order to conform. Like, they completely abandon their desires, their beliefs, their opinions, just to fit in. And what that means is that they're putting aside their personal preferences, opinions, desires, morals, which is not something that an authentic person would do. A lot of this conforming to what other people want comes from not wanting to feel abandoned, not wanting to be left as an outsider. And that is something very natural to us humans, because if you think about it, thousands of years ago, when, we were running around with animal skin covering our bits, we would depend on other people for survival. We would depend on being in a group in order to survive. People who were left as outsiders were left on their own, and that could literally be a death sentence. Like, it would make the difference between surviving and not surviving. And so no one wanted to be kicked out of their cave body group. Belonging to a group is a natural instinct. And it's not something negative. It's amazing to belong to a group that shares your morals or your values, maybe shares a hobby. Being in a group of people that have the same interests can be very empowering and very helpful. Being in a group is not something negative. Being in a group that has nothing to do with your core beliefs is something negative. If you have to hide your authentic self in order to belong to a group, that is not the place for you. Conforming to something you don't want to conform to is gonna hurt your relationship with yourself. And your relationship with yourself is the only thing that is guaranteed to be there for as long as you live. Social groups are going to come and go, but your relationship with yourself is the thing that will stay behind. And if your relationship with yourself is not authentic, that's not a good relationship, and it's a hurtful relationship and a hurtful experience. Not conforming to groups and to others' opinions is gonna make some people uncomfortable. That is fine, because that is none of your business. If people are uncomfortable because you are being your most authentic self and you are speaking your truth, that is not a you problem, that is a them problem. Let them deal with that. It is not your job to make people comfortable, but it is your responsibility to make sure that you have a good relationship with yourself and you are at peace with yourself at the end of the day. Let's talk about jealousy. Jealousy is not great. I think we can agree on that. Your most authentic self wouldn't be jealous of someone else, because your most authentic self is confident in who they are, what their capabilities are, and what they can and will achieve. I really learned how important it is to reframe your thoughts and just think like, good for them. There's a human being who seems to be really enjoying their life and living their best life in their most authentic form. I am so happy that that person can be authentic. It might just seem like they are. It might just seem like they are, though, social media. Okay, that's a whole other story. But still, be happy for them, like the video, comment, do whatever you feel like you need to do, and move on. It is none of your business what other people have or do or get, because other people's success has nothing to do with your own success. And if you are in alignment with your authentic self, you know that and you feel it deep down. Really practice, clapping for other people, congratulating them, because for sure you want someone else clapping for you when you are achieving something great. And you will achieve something great. A question you can ask yourself to get started on this whole authenticity journey is, who am I at my core? Who is it that you truly want to be? What is it that you want to spend your time doing? What is it that makes you the happiest? What is it that brings joy to your life? What is it that you would do if money were not an issue? I cannot wait to see you thriving and just being your most authentic self, being so confident, being at peace with who you are, and just living your dream life, living life to the fullest. That was it. Thank you so much for reaching this point. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the very end. I will see you in my next video.